long hours, a team of heavy equipment operators, civil engineers, and safety experts are bringing down the Sabin Dam. This is the last of 3 dams to be demolished and completely removed from the Boardman River. A very short distance upstream, the Cass Street Bridge overlooks the old Boardman Dam impoundment area and the river now flowing in its natural channel. With the removal of Brown Bridge, Boardman, and Sabin Dams, the Boardman River is once again seeing daylight after being buried under impounded waters for over 100 years. Here's Kim Bulke, biologist and project coordinator for the Conservation Resource Alliance.
Well, for me, this has been a historical moment, We've daylighted a river, we've returned it. It's been especially exciting to uncover the tree stumps, to see them, angled on the stream banks, knowing that our engineers, where they thought the river channel should be, it indeed was. So, it's been exciting, and especially after so many years of planning and fundraising and meetings, to see it, come to life.
The Boardman Dams project is both historic and massive. In addition to expert contractors, the project involves Traverse City, Grand Traverse County, state and federal agencies, the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians, and nonprofit service organizations like the Grand Traverse Conservation District and Conservation Resource Alliance. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers oversees all efforts at the Sabin Dam worksite. Here's Civil Engineer Alec Higgins.
The first step really was to prepare to breach the dam, and you start by setting up your sediment traps. Essentially what these traps are designed to do is hold up the water a little bit, slow the velocity, slow down the water, and that gets some of the heavier, coarser particles to fall out, stops them from migrating downstream.
Surprisingly, the Sabin Dam impoundment was almost completely filled in by sediment. As a result, dewatering the pond has gone more quickly than expected. Excavators only needed to remove sediment in front of the old powerhouse to begin dewatering the pond. As Higgins points out, the next step was to bring the remaining flow down through the old dam spillway.
Since we're using the existing spillway to dewater the impoundment, they were basically able to jump right into it and start using a hydraulic hammer on an excavator, busting and demoing the spillway. And the spillway, the original elevation was at about 609. The water elevation when we started was at about 610 and a half. So they take the hammer, they chip away at the spillway, they bust it down foot by foot. Right now the spillway is sitting at about 600, and the water level is about 603. So to date, the contractor's been able to dewater about 8 feet.
As the water level is lowered, the river begins to cut down through the sediment. The sediment is excavated and moved to the upland areas to help establish the new floodplain. Using an amphibious excavator and other tools, the contractors help guide the river into the historic river channel.
Local partners and team members, they did depth of refusal measurements, they looked at historical data, they did surveys and tried to identify where the river channel is. That's the first step. Then once you get into construction and you start digging, start uncovering things, you find features that might help you define where the river channel was. So if you find a stump, you know that wasn't in the river channel. Makes you think. And then, if you dig down and you start your sand, muck, then you start hitting maybe some cobbles, some riverbed stone. You think, okay, maybe I found my channel bottom here. And then you kind of explore the limits, and based on what you're seeing in the field, you adjust the river to the closest we can get to its natural historic alignment.
Soon the powerhouse will be carefully demolished and removed to make way for the return of a free-flowing Boardman River.
After we demolish this spillway down to a specified elevation, all the flow, as it is currently, will be going down the spillway channel. They've built a diversionary berm between the spillway channel and the powerhouse channel. And the purpose of this berm is to isolate the powerhouse channel into a no flow condition, although it'll have some backwater in it, and we can reconstruct the channel bed in that powerhouse channel. Where the proposed river channel runs right through where the powerhouse is now. So the powerhouse will be demolished. It'll be from the top down. They'll demolish it 6 feet underneath the bottom of the proposed river channel subgrade. So it'll be way down there. After removal of the powerhouse, we have to reconstruct the channel through this area. And they're going to create a couple of riffles and runs, and it'll look really nice. And finally, fish will be able to pass this point again upstream and be reconnected with hundreds of miles of Boardman River and tributaries that all connect into the river and the Boardman watershed.
By removing the old failing dams and rebuilding long-lost floodplains, the Boardman Dams project is restoring fish and wildlife habitat and recreating a more climate-resilient river.
In terms of climate change, the Boardman River, restoring a channel that's wide enough and that has floodplain that can handle high water events is important. Removing aging infrastructure and restoring a healthy stream and its dynamics will better be able to handle, these high water events that we're seeing from more frequent and intense storm events, especially those storms that happen in combination with warm winter events. That combination of snow melt and heavy rain is tough. It's tough on our waterways. And so now that we have sufficient area for that high water to go and to keep flowing, that's a great solution towards handling, the changing of our planet.